You're welcome back. And this afternoon, the NPP's reconciliation efforts are coming under intense scrutiny, with concerns raised about the sincerity and effectiveness of the process, as Kennedy Japan's camp alleges targeted victimization just days after the polls. Well, calls for healing and party unity have grown louder since polls closed on Saturday, with 4 aspirants pledging their full support to the elected flag bearer Dr Bawumia. But speaking on PM Express with Evans Mensah last night, a member of Kennedy Japan's team, Alex Mpabin, questioned the party's commitment to genuine reconciliation, claiming some members of their camp are being singled out for unfair treatment.
If Kennedy's key members are meeting and an agenda items about the way forward in winning 2028, that clearly shows the posture, the position, and the readiness of Kennedy Japan. But as I said, it has to be genuine inclusion. You know, in the last few hours, I've been following lots of social media posts. And personally, I have got my own share of the cake, where people keep kind of demonizing you for following a particular candidate.
Is it coming from party? Is it coming from party supporters or from
absolutely party supporters? Okay. Party supporters, and some are, well-respected people in the party. Direct to my WhatsApp and what you and so this kind of messaging. We don't build unity with that kind of message, and there's no way Team Bawumia alone can win 2028. So we should stop demonizing people for supporting a particular candidate they believe in. But there has to be a deliberate attempt. And this is where the leadership of Team Bawumia, we request a lot from them. I believe everybody I've spoken to, from the director of elections, from the campaign administrator, I've had a lot of conversation with almost everyone in the leadership in the last 48 hours. Every single one of them, I can say on record, is ready. We believe in the NPP. We believe in Dr. Bawumia's leadership to move us forward. What is left is that it was opinions, it was different personalities presenting different perspectives on how Ghana or the NPP should move forward. It is the time for us to collaborate and build on the strength and do away with the weaknesses of each candidate. But in doing so, we should embrace each other's opinion, embrace the supporters. And I keep saying, we should never see every single supporter as a problem that we need to suppress or we need to cosmetically manage. But you need to see each and every supporter as having a genuine reason for supporting whoever they support.
That's Alex Mpabin of the Kennedy Japan camp. He's also a former deputy finance minister. But the party's national treasurer, Charles Dramina, is insisting the NPP is serious about reconciling all factions and presenting a united front ahead of the 2028 elections. He says steps are already underway to establish a national reconciliation committee that will lead a nationwide healing tour.
Push this with open minds. If we set up the best reconciliation team, and in your mind you have already concluded that you're not going to have it done fairly, then it's going to be a problem. At least the goodwill is there. Leadership has served every indication that this is a matter of great importance. We are going to make sure we get it done and done well so that everybody comes on board. If we have the evidence, if we have the instances, let's help leadership by feeding leadership with the requisite information so that this thing can be done and done well. And you can't get that done well when you have in your mind that about 90% or a greater portion of the people who are going to see to it that that is done were in favor of a particular candidate, in which case whatever they do might not necessarily address the concern. No. So you did say, and I agree with you that, in fact, I'm making the point. You did say that
party's leadership leading to the election at the constituency, but who forms the reconciliation committee? It's an issue that will be determined by national. But to say that about 90% of constituency executives were on one side, I'm 100% of this, even though I don't have data.
Yeah, but
I don't think I'm.
But Alex, that is why we are saying that it's important at this stage. The race is over. It's important whether what you're saying is true or not. The race is over. We are starting another process of bringing everyone on board. Let's do that with open minds. Let's even assume, without admitting, that indeed about 90% of those were on one side. Now we are starting a new process. Once you have an open mind,
you got me wrong. If I'm interjecting.
Let's get talking and go onto the telephone lines right now and speak to the Deputy General Secretary of the opposition NPP, Haruna Mohammed. Haruna, concerns are already growing about the party's sincerity and really the real commitment to reconciling its factions. As an executive of the party, how determined is your leadership to genuinely bring everyone on board for a united front ahead of the 2028 elections?
Thank you very much, Kenneth. I would like to say good afternoon to your cherished viewers and you yourself. Indeed, such an election that we have organized certainly will have dissenting views of members who are dissatisfied with one thing or the other, and more importantly, with regards to reconciliation. We have heard him, we have heard his comments, and it's expected because after an election such as this, you would have people pointing fingers to the other. But I want to stand on behalf of the leadership to assure everybody that we will take the needed steps to be able to reconcile all the members of our party. One thing that people are forgetting is that reconciliation is not about going to fine-tune one individual or one camp. Reconciliation cuts across. Whether they were supporting another candidate or not, they themselves also need reconciliation. So all the factions, all the five aspirants, their members and everything needs reconciliation. You are not reconciled independently. You are reconciled into a system, and that system also needs reconciliation. Right. So I want to assure them that all the factions, the National Party will take it upon themselves and ensure that this particular reconciliation process is taken very seriously. But I want to take this as a caution to every member of the party that when the National Party was drumming home the fact that no officer of the party should openly go and support another candidate. This was the reason why we were saying. And it doesn't affect Dr Bawumia camp alone. All the camps have officers of the party who were supporting them. So this should not be looked like one camp was having, even if you have 1% or 2%, it is that that particular person is also serving in a leadership position. There should be a caution to everybody going forward. Secondly, in reconciliation too, tone of language is also something that is very important. That is why we caution every member of the language you use in the campaign. That language you are using must be more reconciliatory of matters that can bring all of us together. So if you had used a language that is very difficult to heal at this particular moment, we allow a healing process and we are able to talk to people so that all of us will join the reconciliation tree. So going forward, people should be mindful of what you say about the other. People should be mindful about what you tune out. People should be mindful about the plans you do. People should be mindful about the actions you do. These are very sentimental in reconciliation. And I want to encourage party members to be very decorous, to be very respectful, to be very factual, to be able to make their presentations so that tomorrow, matters that you raise would not be pointed to you. And these are things that generate tension within political parties and generate tension and takes up people emotions. So I want to encourage them and assure them that the National Party will do everything possible to get this reconciliation. Reconciliation doesn't necessarily mean you are putting the party leadership only together. Reconciliation encompasses more than that. You can even have a reconciliation committee that you don't even have a member of the Constituency Executive Committee or a Regional Executive Committee or just a member, just for record or just for institutional memory. So they should be rest assured let us all go into the issue of reconciliation with clean heart. Reconciliation from both sides must be genuine, not from one. Even the one the person who is being reconciled must also be very genuine in his or her reconciliation process.
Haruna, has there been any reports to the executives about the alleged intimidation that Alex Ampabin mentioned?
And if possibly, the National Party can find out from him, because he's a member of our party, to get more details on the matters that are being raised by him.
And your treasurer, Charles Dramina, also said that there's going to be a reconciliation committee that's going to be set up. Who are going to make up that committee?
Certainly, committees of the party comes from either NEC or National Council. So when committees are going to be set, an individual such as myself or Dr. Jomina might not be able to indicate the membership, but the committee that is going to set it up could be NEC or could be the National Council, which are ad hoc committees of these particular two bodies. So until those bodies take the power to set up those particular membership of the committee, I might not be able to put out names, because names comes from NEC or comes from council, and the national chairman will lead the charge in terms of the setting up of those particular committees. And I know that when it is about time for us to set those particular committees, men and women of value will be put into the committee to deliver sincerity, to deliver good judgment, and to make sure that we are able to bring everybody on board.
Just today, we saw almost all the minority MPs in Parliament pay a visit to the former Vice President and flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Dr Bawumia. There are those who say that on a face value, the NPP is trying to present a united front, but deep down, there's still that division even days after this election concluded. Is that really the case?
After every election, after every competition, there comes cooperation. So in all the structures of the party, not only the minority MP, we also have other executives or other individuals in their own statutes going to pay homage to the newly elected flag bearer of our party. This has been something that we as a party has practiced over time. And that is why we have always said that we are the beacon of democracy in Africa, and we are the true practitioners of democracy, because we come out from every election very strong. And this comes because of the transparency level, the openness level, the engagement levels, and all the levels of sentiments that we engage in terms of getting everybody. And you certainly will not have an election such as this so that everybody will be under one candidate. That is why we have an election. Everybody will indicate your opinion or who you think will be able to lead. Once a leader has emerged, all of you will have to rally behind the leader, irrespective of where you belong. It doesn't mean that there was loss of unity or there was something that was missing. It was an opinion that was exercised by the constitution of the party by every member. And that is why everybody has shown your interest level where it is on the 31st, and one person was elected. Once the one person is elected, all of us as a party will rally behind that particular individual. And that is why everybody is going to Dr. Bawumia, so that all of us will get a more united front to move ahead. Doesn't mean that it was a disunited front. We only went and indicate our judgment as to who should lead, and God has chosen the person who is going to lead us, and that person is Dr. Bawumia. All of us in our individual matters will go to pay homage. I know even the media, you would go to say a congratulatory message and take messages from him. Certainly doesn't mean that there was a division, but that is the coherence and then the indicative of the unity or cohesion that we need going forward to the 2028 general election.
You've already mentioned that you do not know which individuals will constitute the reconciliation committee, but do you at least know when this committee will be formed?
This committee can only be formed when there is either one, if there is a steering committee meeting, which the flag bearer is now a member of the steering committee, or there is a NEC meeting, or there is a National Council meeting. So until these three bodies, there is a meeting of that sort to be able to bring up these particular names of persons, I might not be able to raise the names here because it doesn't lie in my mouth to mention who to be a member of the committee. When it comes before NEC or council, then I can make a suggestion as to a person who can be part of that particular process. But at this particular moment, I cannot mention any name because the constitution of the party has not been properly invoked in terms of the setting up of the committee for reconciliation.
Haruna Mohammed, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. That's the Deputy General Secretary of the Opposition NPP.